And the third is the E for entrepreneurship. Because if women are going to rise themselves out of being abused and domestic violence and violence of all kinds, they need to have economic empowerment as well as personal empowerment. As a psychologist, I'm very committed to helping young girls and women achieve their personal empowerment, but economic empowerment is crucial. In all the work that I have done around Africa, there are these 3 E's that must be attended to in all the programs that happen. These are also the pillars of a very important program that I would like to invite all of you to participate in, and the leaders of that are sitting in the audience. You will hear from Sadiq. Please stand up, Sadiq. Yes, Sadiq Y. And Gordon Tapper, here, the founder of Give Them a Hand Foundation. And also a third member, besides myself, Mohammed Nur Hussein, a brilliant physician. And coming up this summer is the Million African Diaspora Assembly, MADA. And so we all need to participate in that in order to accomplish empowerment and education and entrepreneurship for women and also men. The CSW is constantly saying that while this is the status of Women Commission, the Commission on the Status of Women, we must acknowledge the role of men and boys. And so thank you to all the brilliant men who have presented here, who are here. So appreciation to them. We've talked about here, we've heard many wonderful statements about domestic violence, sexual violence, and emotional violence and abuse. As a psychologist, that I appreciate that we must eradicate. There is also cultural violence and social violence. These apply to poverty. So women cannot be empowered unless they can rise out of poverty. Domestic violence happens because women cannot leave their families. They cannot leave the husband because they need support for the family. So rising out of poverty is so important. In that vein, I acknowledge what the princess has said about mental health, what Ambassador Tete Antonio said earlier about well-being. These are words very dear to my heart because mental health and well-being is now in the Sustainable Development Goals. Proud to have been part of that achievement with Ambassador Otto of Palau, getting the 193 governments sitting in rooms, big rooms like this, to agree that mental health and well-being is very important. So I'd like to mention some programs that I've been involved in Africa that address these issues. One of them is in Sierra Leone, where I was during Ebola, and the home of Sadiq, whom we will hear from shortly. And in that, during that horrible time, I ran some programs including young men and young women who were on burial teams. These were the young people who sadly went to the villages to collect the dead bodies of those who had suffered from this horrific epidemic of Ebola. And we did various exercises that are based on sound psychological principles. And it was very exciting to see. I would do one right here if we could, but one of them went like this. The young people had to introduce themselves, say their name and an adjective that they appreciate about themselves, and an action. And so some of the females as well as the males would say their name. Hello, my name is, and I am powerful. It was very exciting to see them do that and make this action that they are powerful. And some of the women went powerful with both arms. So this word resonates so much, I think, with people when you give them a chance to feel the energy of being empowered. In Lesotho, Africa, I co-developed with a number of other NGOs and the First Lady of Lesotho a girls' empowerment camp. And in that camp, they learned life skills and entrepreneurship. What were the life skills? The life skills were for them to distinguish between sex and love, and for them to feel that they do not have to engage in transactional sex. What is that? Having sex for money, for school fees that we heard about earlier, for feeding the family, for food. That was the empowerment of their life skills. And the other lessons were about entrepreneurship. What are the things that they can make money from? What are some of those things? How can they make money?
There's so many.
Well, say.
Bags, making dresses, yeah, they can cook. Yeah.
They can sell vegetables, they can braid hair, they can sell phone cards. These are ideas that they needed to understand in order to avoid abuse and violence and rise themselves out of poverty. And the third is in Tanzania, when I worked in Arusha with children in a schools. And one of the techniques I loved was to have these children talk about their dreams. Because when they are depressed and when they feel they have no hope, that in fact having a dream and knowing you can go for your dream was very important. And so one of the things that the techniques I would do was take a ball and it would say in their native language, my dream is. So I would throw the ball to one of the girls and she would announce what her dream is. So there you go. What is your dream?
I want to be a princess.
I want to be a woman leader.
Okay.
Wow. I want to be a supergirl.
Oh my God.
Awesome.
I want to be a president.
All right. Yay. Oh, you're allowed. Okay, we can hear from him, Matt. You finish.
Sure. I'm Sandeep, and I want to be a philanthropist so that I can give peace and kind of work at the root level so that I can heal at the root level, not by watering the root, not the leaves.
Okay, wonderful. So the second part of the exercise is that the group then repeats back what the person is. It is an acknowledgement. So you are a president. All right? Yes, everybody, let's all say it together. You are a president. So being acknowledged in that way is extremely important. So all these techniques put together are very helpful to create help facilitate the empowerment of women that we are all here for today. So thank you very much.
Thank you.